Natural selection was first theorized by Charles Darwin and Alfred Wallace, which is, in the simplest terms, the process of the most successful and adaptive organisms surviving to reproduce, and passing down their genes to the next generation. So essentially, over many generations, a population will be more and more adapted to its environment. So then, by that logic, one would think that we have evolved to the point where we don't have flaws anymore. But that's still not the case, thanks to our fish ancestors. Today, we'll be talking about ancestral constraints and what they are. Ancestral constraints are traits evolved in the past that were useful to our ancestors at the time, but are now a hindrance to us, sort of like a heavy baggage from our past. Let's take choking on food for example. The reason that we still choke on our food is because our airway and digestive system cross paths. Air goes from our nose to the airway, but food goes from our mouth to the esophagus. As we can see here, they cross paths. Luckily, we have evolved a muscle called the epiglottis to make sure the right thing goes down the right pipe. But mistakes still happen, and hence why we still choke. We can blame this flawed design on our fish ancestors. When fish first evolved lungs for their gills, they were located beneath their stomach since there's more room there. Their nostrils are located above their head, so that they can reach the air from the surface of the water. This was not a problem for the fish, since they mainly breathe through their gills and only breathe air occasionally through into their lungs, meaning that their airway and digestive system rarely cross paths. However, this was stuck in evolution, and us humans kept this arrangement of crossing those two paths. Even though we don't use scales, we're still stuck with this system due to many reasons, which I may make a video on later. And thus, this arrangement became an ancestral constraint, which is one of the reasons why our adaptation is limited, and thus will never evolve into a perfect organism.